and it's Antya Lila, chapter 5. Sorry, volume 5, and chapter is called 20th, actually. So, as we start, when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, we chant like this: Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, chapter 20, the Shikshashtaka prayers. The following summary study of the 20th chapter is given by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashyam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his nights tasting the meaning of Shri Shikshashtaka in the company of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy. Sometimes he recited verses from Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govinda, from Srimad Bhāgavatam, from Sri Ramananda Roy's Jagannath Vallabhanataka, or from Sri Bila Mangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. In this way, he became absorbed in ecstatic emotions. For the 12 years Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived at Jagannath Puri, he relished the taste of reciting such transcendental verses. The Lord was present in this mortal world for 48 years altogether. After hinting about the Lord's disappearance, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita gives a short description of the entire Antya Lila and then ends this book. Yeah, please, yeah. It would be nice. Yeah. I will just read some verses, don't need to repeat. Text 1. Pramod Pavita Harshesho Vegat Haina Trimishritam Lapitam Gaura Chandrasya Pagyavatpir Nishevyate. Only the most fortunate will relish the mad words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which, mixed with jubilation, envy, agitation, submissiveness, and grief, all produced by ecstatic, loving emotions. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We just read now English, basically. From time to time I read the original. While Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath Puri, Nilachal, he was continuously overwhelmed night and day by separation from Krishna. Day and night, he tasted transcendental blissful songs and verses with two associates, namely Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy. He relished the symptoms of various transcendental emotions, such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety, grief, eagerness, and satisfaction. He would recite his own verses, expressing their meanings and emotions, and thus enjoy tasting them with these two friends. Well, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy are his most confidential associates. Well, I can talk about it just in a couple of verses. Sometimes the Lord would be absorbed in a particular emotion and would stay awake all night, reciting related verses and relishing their taste. In great jubilation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, know from me that chanting of the holy names is the most feasible means of salvation in this age of Kali. In this age of Kali, the process of worshipping Krishna is to perform sacrifice by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who does so is certainly very intelligent, and he attains shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. For further information, one may refer to the Adi Lila chapter 2 text, is text 77-78. So, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagai Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Hisumedasa. In this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. This verse is spoken by Saint Karapajana in Srimad Bhāgavatam 11th canto. For further information, see Adi Lila. Yes, well, Krishna Varnam, Tvisha Akrishnam. Krishna Varnam means he always says two syllables. Varna means syllable. Krishna. He always chants these two syllables. Tvisha Krishna means, Tvisha Akrishna actually. It's not Krishna. You know, Krishna means the black as well. You know that. One of the meanings of Krishna. But Akrishna means not black. This is yellow. This is golden. This is the, this is the color of Lord Chaitanya. Sangha, Ubanga, Astra, Parshadam. These are four different somebody who associates him. These are Sa-anga, means somebody who are you with. Sa-anga means, associate. Upanga means servitor. Astra, weapons. And Parshadam, confidential companions. As far as I know, Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy are his confidential companions. What does that mean? Lord Chaitanya would preach, go travel everywhere, preach holy name, make people Krishna conscious. He didn't, most of the time he didn't need to preach, because just by seeing him, everybody would just become mad of love of God. Well, you see, even liberation is so hard to attain, but people who did not even know anything about God, he would give them love of God. That's why when Rupa Goswami saw him in the village of Ramakeli, first time, when he saw him, said immediately, Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Pradayate. You are most munificent incarnation, because you are giving something which nobody else has ever given. This is Krishna Prema. To love God, you should know God. But if you are an atheist, you have no idea who God is. Maybe you are not atheist, but you have no relationship, personal, you have never seen God. So how can you love him? So this is not possible. It can be Shantaras something. Shantaras means you just appreciate, but you don't know him. So this is neutrality. But real love of God, real Krishna Prema, people would just go mad. And Rupa Goswami said, this is only because you are Krishna yourself. Nobody else can do that. You're giving freely Krishna Prema. Yes. So he would chant, he would preach, whatever. He would talk to Chankazi. He would perform all kinds of different leelas. But then when he came to and establish himself in Jagannath Puri, he would not associate with very many people. He would not talk about his emotions. Only very few. Not all the devotees, great devotees, his eternal associates, he would not talk about them, his confidential feelings. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya has the feelings of Srimati Radharani. And this is something very special. He would always keep it for himself. He lived in a place, in a room called Gambhira. Gambhira means deep. It was very deep. It's small, but totally deep. It's... and he would just day and night be in the mood of Srimati Radharani, in the mood of separation from Krishna. And sometimes Ramananda Roy, sometimes Swarup Damodar would recite different verses all the time, actually. They would recite different shlokas, different passages from very, very highly advanced scriptures and books supporting the mood of Lord Chaitanya. So these are these very confidential associates who are there just to support the mood of the Lord. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, one can be freed from all undesirable habits. This is the means of awakening all good fortune and initiating the flow of waves of love for Krishna. Simply by chanting. Now we are going to hear about first Shikshashtaka verse, which is about the holy name. Chetodarpanam arjanam pavamahadavagni nirvapanam shaya kairava chandrika vitharanam vidyavatu jivanam ananda bhutivarthanam pradipadam purnamrita svaranam sarvatma snapanam paramijate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna. Param Vijayate means, all victory, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. This is the first shloka of Shikshashtaka. Shiksha means to instruct, to teach. Ashta means 8. Ashtaka means actually 8 prayers. Shikshashtaka means the 8 prayers or 8 instructions by Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never wrote anything. He did not write anything, but he left us so many things. But of course, as a literary, piece of literature, this is Shikshashtaka, this is his legacy, which contains everything. By performing congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, one can destroy the sinful condition of material existence, purify the unclean heart, and awaken all varieties of devotional service. So this is very easy method, actually. Chanting Hare Krishna means that this is basically the only way to get salvation. There is, especially in our age. And if somebody chants Hare Krishna, the holy name, he can be born of the lowest families. He can be dog eater, whatever. He can be the lowest of the low. But he's considered to be better than any Brahmana. So if one chants Hare Krishna, chanting, yes. Let's don't go into this, that details about chanting should be done purely, of course, as purely as possible, at least. By chanting holy name, one gets the results of performing all the Vedic rituals, or, one can just, gets the result of all bathing in all places, in all the holy rivers, visiting all the holy places, giving charity to everyone. There is nothing compared to the chanting holy name. And it will cleanse our heart. Cheta Darpana. Cheta means the consciousness. Darpana means the mirror, and Marjana means cleaning. Marjana, Mandira Marjanadishu means cleaning the temple. Marjana, the act of marjana means to clean. Yes, so it will clean the heart, our heart. And, I mentioned a few times, some other times as well, that there are so many methods now, and people talk about, how to clean your karma, how to clean your Akasha records, and this and that. Yes, maybe they work, maybe they don't, but chanting Hare Krishna works. So if you want to get rid of bad karma, chant Hare Krishna. Why? Because then white lotus of good fortune will arise in our hearts, and we will get all auspiciousness. People, esoterics, talk about what you call not opulence, but overflow and all this and that. Yes, chant Hare Krishna, everything will be just fine. Yes. See, now the first shloka, Lord Chaitanya praises the chanting Hare Krishna. Then comes the next one. Then you see, when he was talking about this, lamentation and humility awoke within Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he began reciting another of his own verses. By hearing the meaning of that verse, one can forget all unhappiness and lamentation. Nam nama garibahudha nija sarva shaktis tatrar pita niyamita smarane nakala etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mama pi durtaiva midrisha mihajanina anuraga. My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity. And therefore you have many names such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in these names, in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting. This is his lamentation, teaching us. He's the best teacher. Lord Chaitanya is absolutely the best teacher. He came here to teach us. That's why he teaches us how we should think, how unfortunate we are that we have the holy name, but we commit so many offenses which block the bliss, which block in our heart, which pollute our heart, and so on. Because people are very in their desires. You have distributed various holy names by your mercy. People have different desires. That's why you have different names according to what they want to hear. So you see, he's so merciful. Krishna is so merciful. He manifests in, it's not his only name, Krishna or Govinda. Unlimited names he has. Yes, in different parts of the world and whatever, in all the planets and everywhere. Unlimited, regardless of time and place. One who chants the holy name, even while eating or sleeping, attains all perfection. You have invested your full potencies in each individual holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attachment for chanting your holy names. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. Now, the method of chanting, how we should do that. Trinadapi sunichena taro riva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, one who is more tolerant than a tree, one who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. That's the point. If we give up chanting, we did not really have the taste, or we committed so many offenses that we actually lose the taste. So this is the whole point. And this mood is very important. These are the symptoms of one who chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Although he is very exalted, he thinks himself lower than the grass on the ground. And like a tree, he tolerates everything in two ways. See, yeah, he is extremely exalted, one who chants the Hare Krishna, but he thinks himself lower than the grass in the street. But he is very tolerant as a tree in two ways. When a tree is cut down, it doesn't protest. And even when drying up, it does not ask anyone for water. So we can think about tolerance in another way too. For example, oh yeah, my body and mind pushes us different ways. Why do we chant? We should do something else. So no, we should tolerate. But we should learn, not just tolerate, we should also learn how to detach ourselves from the body and mind, and so just continue chanting Kirtanya Sadahari all the time. If you're humble, if you are in that mood, you can chant it all the time. Yes. The tree delivers its fruits, flowers, and whatever it possesses to anyone and everyone. It tolerates scorching heat and torrents of rain, yet it still gives shelter to others. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be resting place of Krishna. A Vaishnava doesn't see anybody who's not connected to Krishna. He doesn't want to offend anyone. He doesn't feel that anybody is his enemy. So this is Vaishnava. If one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, he will certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. As Lord Chaitanya spoke in this way, his humility increased, and he began praying to Krishna that he could discharge pure devotional service. Now comes the verse which I love very much. Whenever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. Premera svabhavayahan premera sambanta. Seimane Krishna moranahi prema ganta. Ganta means the smell. I mean, tinge. It means that, even a drop. One who thinks that one has love of God, he has no love at all. And when one has real love, he thinks everybody else is a devotee. I don't have love at all. So this is a symptom. So then Śrīla Prabhupāda goes very may skip this this purport because we have 15 minutes, I think. So he talks about sahajas. Make a show of devotion, just like sahajas do, is a sign of materialism, not sign of the love of God. One who has love of God, he always keeps this within himself. That's the whole point. Then the mood of the devotee. Nathanamna janamna sundarim kavidamva jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavadad bhakti rahaitu gitvayi. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you. Yeah. So, sometimes Christians tell us that, pagans, Old Testament, whatever, they were, they were not very civilized people, whatever. So, when Jesus came, he taught us, how was it? Do these things to others which you wanted them to do it for you, to you. I mean, this is very exalted and high thought, but this is even higher. You don't want anything. You don't want any liberation, nothing at all. Just want to have pure devotion. But dear Lord Krishna, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, a beautiful wife, or the results of fruitive activities. I only pray that by your causeless mercy, you give me pure devotional service to you life after life. In great humility, considering himself a conditioned soul of the material world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again expressed his desire to be endowed with service to the Lord. Again, the expression of his humility. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam vishame pavambuto kripaya tava padavankaja stita tuli sadrishyam vichintaya. Nanda Tanuja means that son of Nanda. Ramanuja means the younger brother. Anuja means the brother, younger brother. Rama's younger brother, Lakshmana. Ramanujacharya is the name. That's what his name means. Tanuja, Nanda Tanuja means son of Nanda. O my Lord, O Krishna, son of Maharaj Nanda, I'm your eternal servant. But because of my own fruitive acts, I have fallen in this horrible ocean of nations. Now, please be causelessly merciful to me. Consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. We are here. We've fallen here. We forgot Krishna totally. And now we have to ask for causeless mercy for Krishna. Otherwise, there is no way we can get out from here. No way. So we have to ask Krishna to, place us at his lotus feet as a particle of dust. I'm your eternal servant, but I forgot your lordship. Now I have fallen in the ocean of nations and have become conditioned by external energy. Be causelessly merciful to me by giving me a place with the particles of dust at your lotus feet, so that I may engage in the service of your lordship as your eternal servant. Natural humility and eagerness then awoke in Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He prayed to Krishna to be able to chant Mahamantra in ecstatic love. Now he goes to ecstasy. Nayamagalada Shrutharaya Vadanam Gadgada Ruthaya Gira Pulagair Nichitam Vabukada Tavanama Grahane Pavishyati. My dear Lord, when will my eyes be purified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs on my body stand erect in transcendental happiness as I chant your holy name? This is the real. If we purely chant, this is the result. I mean, one of the results at least. You cannot, keep your composure. You just go mad. You just become totally insane. I mean, materially speaking, because this transcendental emotions will awaken in our hearts and heart. Without love of Godhead, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of ecstatic love of God. Separation from Krishna evoke various mellows of distress, lamentation, humility. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a crazy man. Now he says something which is just, what? Yes, see here. Yugaitam nimeshana chakshusha pravrishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. My Lord Govinda, because of separation from you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void. In my agitation, a day never ends, for every moment seems like a millennium, pouring incessant tears. My eyes are like clouds in the rainy season. The three worlds have become void because of separation from Govinda. I feel as if I were burning alive in a slow fire. So he means that 1 second, one moment is just millennium. Just like gopis, they curse Lord Brahma because Lord Brahma made the eyelids, and sometimes they had to blink, and so in that milliseconds they could not see Krishna. They said Brahma, he has no idea how to create anything. So why do we have the eyelids? Why do we have to blink? See, this is transcendental madness. This is the top symptoms. Lord Krishna has become indifferent to me just to test my love. And my friends say, better to disregard him. Now she's not just, it's she actually, it's Radharani talking, basically. But Lord Chaitanya, he's in Radharani's mood. But I mean, it's like transcendental madness, it's called. Krishna doesn't want me, and it's not just love like that. It has all these aspects: anger, frustration, pride, everything. It's not just so simple. Even my friends tell me, Lord Chaitanya says, please disregard him. Forget about Krishna. He's not worth of your love. While Srimati Radharani was thinking in this way, the characteristics of natural love became manifest because of her pure heart. The ecstatic symptoms of envy, great eagerness, humility, zeal, and supplication all became manifest at once. In that mood, the mind of Srimati Radharani was agitated, and therefore she spoke a verse of advanced devotion to her Gopi friends. In the same spirit of ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited that verse, and as soon as he did so, he felt like Srimati Radharani. Ai aslishyava badaratam pinashtumam adarshana marmahadam karotuva yatha tatha vidathatu lampato mat prananathastu saevani nabaraha. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maidservant who has fallen at his lotus feet. Let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee, after all, and can do whatever he likes, but he is still no one other than the worshipable Lord of my heart. So now we come to the last shloka or shikshashtaka. And we can see gradually how Lord Chaitanya brings us to, shows us the highest development of devotional service. It's so when you can break my heart, you can embrace me, you can show to yourself to me, you can hide from me, but you still, I love you, and you are the Lord of my heart. So then Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he continues by, he continues quite a few verses where he shows how Srimati Radharani, what was her mood and so on. We will skip that because we don't have much time. Thus overwhelmed by ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a madman and recited suitable verses. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would never speak these things to anyone else than his most confidential devotees. In the room of Gambhira, he would not go out and give a lecture about it. No, this is totally. And once he was in such an ecstasy, and when devotees woke up, he actually they locked him because he was escaping all the time because he was totally mad with love of Krishna, and he went through 3 walls. He went like this. He went out. So he was. Where is he? I mean, the door is closed. Okay, of course he can get out. So this is what's going on in Gambhira room. The Lord had formerly composed these 8 verses to teach people in general. Now he personally tasted the meaning of the verses, which are called the Shikshashtaka. If anyone recites or hears these 8 verses of instruction by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his ecstatic love and devotion for Krishna increases day by day. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a deep, a grave as millions of oceans, when the moon of his various emotions rises, he becomes restless. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu read the verses of Jayadev's Gita Govinda or Srimad Bhāgavatam, or Ramananda Rai's drama, Jagannath Vallabha, Nataka, and of Bilamangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, he was overwhelmed by the various ecstatic emotions of these verses. Thus he tasted their purports. For 12 years, Sri Chaitanya remained in that state day and night. While with his 2 friends, he tasted the meaning of these verses, which consist of nothing but the transcendental bliss and mellows of Krishna consciousness. Even Anantadev, who has thousands of faces, could not reach the end of describing the transcendental bliss of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. How then could an ordinary living being with a very little intelligence describe such pastimes? Nevertheless, I am trying to touch but a particle of them just to rectify my own self. There is no limit to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities and his words of madness. Therefore, describing them all would greatly increase the size of this book. Yes. Whatever pastime Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur has first described, I have merely summarized. I have only very briefly described the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Nevertheless, because those transcendental pastimes are so numerous, the size of this book has increased. It is impossible to describe all the pastimes elaborately. I shall therefore end this description and offer them my respectful obeisances. What I have described gives merely an indication, but by following this indication, one may obtain a taste of all the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I cannot understand the very deep, meaningful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My intelligence cannot penetrate them, and therefore I could not properly describe them. And after offering my respectful obeisances to the lotus feet all my Vaishnava readers, I shall therefore end this description of the characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The sky is unlimited, but many birds fly higher and higher according to their own abilities. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are like the unlimited sky. How then can an ordinary living being describe them all? I have tried to describe them as far as my intelligence allows. as if trying to touch a drop in the middle of a great ocean. Vrindavan Das Thakur is Lord Nityananda's favorite devotee, and therefore he is the original Vyasadeva in describing the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Vrindavan Das Thakur has within his jurisdiction the full store of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, he has left aside most of them and described but a small portion. What I have described was left aside by Vrindavan Das Thakur, but although he could not describe this pastimes he gave us in synopsis. Hare Krishna, thank you for your attention. Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jai Śrīla Prabhupāda. Any questions, any comments, very short ones? If there are any? Yeah?
Is love and separation the only path to return to the spiritual world?
We can go to Vaikuntha without love and separation. Depends what you want. It depends. We may want to be a friend of Krishna with Krishna. So idea is that we don't want to see Krishna. We want to, Krishna sees us. Love and separation is a natural part of real love.